Hey guys, wanted to come on here and do this updated room tour for you. Originally I was trying to film this with the GoPro, but of course, when you want to go straight 4K, it don't let you do that, so you have to go like with 1080p and all that, which is okay. But because I kept constantly wanting to keep going on the 4K route, battery died, so I have to let it charge. So I'm just going to do the room tour with this, my phone camera, which is just as good in 1080, and all I have to do is just convert it with the CyberPower Director 14 software that I have. Now, before we get into the room tour, I do want to show you something real quickly. Now, this here, as you notice, this is the cable that I got in the recent package opening, if you will. This is the mono piece cable that I recently got. If you can see that. This is the mono piece cable I recently got. And what I did basically is I took the original audio cable that was in there, which is, and I will show you this real quickly, which is this. This was the original audio cable that was connected with the audio extractor, as it's called, to the soundbar and all that. It was originally connected to that. And what I did is I basically put the mono piece audio cables there instead because they are thicker. They are basically a thicker material. Basically, they are, as you could tell, they are a lot more sturdy. And they got the gold-plated endings to them for connections. And a lot of people say that the gold ends are more acceptable because they prevent less interference and all that to happen. Now, with that said, you're probably wondering, why did I get them if I'm just going to place them there? Didn't I have other plans? Yeah, I did have other plans. The plans originally were I was going to get them, as I mentioned in the package opening, and connect them to the CD player, which is right under the castle right there. The CD player, if I can zoom in on that. Hold on. Come on. The Sony CD player, and which is a 5-disc player. That was the original plan. But what happened was they were a little less lengthy than I thought, and I couldn't get them to go behind. I couldn't. And well, basically what I'm saying is there was no way they were going to be able to, reach from the back because the Duraband system was like right here. So there was no way they were going to reach from the back connected to that to go all the way up to here. Nor were they going to do the same if I would have put the thing right here. There was no way it was going to work. Now, it may work now because there's less wires and everything, but, you never know. Never could tell. But you're probably wondering what happened to the Duraband system, or where the Duraband home theater system is. Well, I'll show you. The Duraband system is right here. Here are the speakers, if you will. These are the speakers. Here we have the 2 speakers that were, next to the TV, or right where the TV would be, on the other end of the room. These are the front speakers, the red with the red and black stripes. The gray and black stripes are the ones that, when you came into the room, were hanging on the wall, and then this was on the window, and then this one was on the windowsill, the center one. And then down here we have the system itself, along with the remote. And, the reason it's down here is I think this word kind of gives it away. Right now, it's going to be considered for donation. Now, like I said, there is less room where it was originally, where one of the surge protectors is right now, but I don't know if it would connect that way. I don't know if it would connect that way whatsoever, because I even tried that even with the tanglement of the wires, and there were a lot. Those Those wires right there on those speakers tangled all over the place behind the scenes. So I don't know if it would have worked that way either. It could have, but I want you to see how thin this is right now. I would have to literally put the thing in there just to get it up there. Now, not saying that it wouldn't have worked or anything, but still, you got to wonder, put to that, I don't know. I mean, the only reason it worked previously is because I had the thing right here with the smaller TV, and it only reached up to that. So that's the only reason it worked previously. But now you're probably wondering, well, what's the point of keeping that Sony player now if you're not going to be able to use it? Oh, I'll still be able to use it. Believe me, there's always options to using things like that. I mean, they have audio video behind, they have audio cables behind it, and I think it has, I haven't looked in the back in a while, but I think it has a Dolby audio on it. I have to look up the model and everything eventually to see exactly what it entails to. But yeah, it is possible to still get use out of it. It's kind of like when people would, ask my mom or my family about certain things they have around, like, well, why do you keep it around if you have no use for it? Because there's always going to be a use. Like, my mom has has a vintage vinyl record cassette CD player from they used to be my grandpa's, and she doesn't use it as much because it also has a radio on it. She doesn't use it as much, but she's not going to give it away because she still find use for it, even though she's not using it right now. But with that said, though, guys, with that all said, and we're about almost, according to this, 7 minutes, 15 seconds in, I'm out. I think it's time we give you a tour of the room and let you see what has changed significantly a bit and what could change once again, if just minorly, but I don't think will. So with that said, let's take a look. All right, guys, so as we start the room tour here, as you can see up here, we have the Pony Life version, number 5 potion releases of Fluttershy and Pinkie. And where Fluttershy is, that's where one of the speakers with the gray and black stripes were originally, the rear speaker, if you will. And where Pinkie is, that's where the Transformers reissue of Bumblebee, G1 that is, used to be. And basically the reason I put them there is because if not, I would have had a blank command, I would have had a voided command strip hook, I should say. Not hooker, sorry about that, but hook right there. It would have been like with nothing. It's like, so I don't want to have it just naked, if you will. So I put the Fluttershy figure there. And these figures are basically looked at, if you will, as like leader class figures to Transformers because they're bigger than the average size, which is over here. See, that's a small Pinkie and that's a small Fluttershy. So they're basically looked at as being leader class figures when compared to, let's say, the Rarity figure, which is right there next to Judy, with the holes and everything. That's the Rarity Pony Life figure, and that's looked at as almost a Voyager class, if you know what I mean. Now, as I mentioned, I did move the Bumblebee figure over here. It's right next to the Luna picture because it would fit. It is behind a little bit. There's a part of it that's behind the Rainbow Dash figure, but it fits perfectly there. And then, as we go down here, you can probably see it in the mirror, hopefully. My karaoke machine, my MLP movie karaoke machine is over here now. It used to be on this side, and I'll get to that in a moment, but now it's over here. And in addition to that, we have some of the CDs that used to be over there as well. The CD container with the blue disc on top. On top of, below that is my Craig Bluetooth speaker. And all I have to do basically is move the container of the CDs, open up the box, and get my Bluetooth speaker out of there, and go from there. Now, with that said, as you see behind me, we have the monitor. We have this monitor here, and as I mentioned previously in another video, the original plan was for this monitor to be in here on this desk where this printer is, and then the printer would be on some kind of stand or something like that right here. And the plan originally was for my mom to have the monitor here so she can connect her laptop via HDMI. But once she saw what I did, she respectfully understood why I did it, but kindly asked me not to, keep it that way, and asked me to basically change it back, which I did. So yeah, things went back to the way they were a little bit. And as I mentioned at the beginning, of course, the cables that originally were going to be used in my room are now here because, of reasons that God basically told me, hey, less mess, and, instead of like returning them, get some use out of them. And by connecting them there, they do sound a lot better. The sound does sound a lot better. So yeah, the monitor is over here now. And if you're wondering how I'm going to listen to my records and all that, all I have to do is just unplug these right here, move the monitor down like to here, if you will, and then play my records and all that. And and then when I'm done, just close that and then put the monitor back up and reconnect it. So yeah, it'll be easier than some people think than some people think it won't be, because it will be. Now, with that said, down here we have the subwoofer, the wireless subwoofer for the new Samsung T-450 soundbar. And on top of it, we have my Blue Ice mic that I use for my live streams. And then we have my manual for my TV. And then on the next of it, right there, where my finger's pointing at, that's the manual for the soundbar. And then right next to it is my, what's it called? The rotating display wheel. Basically, when I want to talk about a figure and show all sides of it while I'm talking about it, that, will rotate it. So yeah, I got that there. And then, of course, we have the sound bar right here. This is the sound bar. And if you're wondering, just like anybody else, exactly why is it up here? Because originally I was going to put it here, but it got a little in the way of the figures here. So what I decided to do was place it up here. And that was one of my original plans, was to place it up here and go from there. And if you're wondering how am I going to get out, well, here's the thing. I've had family ask me these kind of questions before, and I'm sure they've asked you guys these kind of questions when you've had stuff like this before. How are you going to get out in case of emergency? Well, I think we can all agree that when it comes to saving your damn life, excuse my language, that these are meaningless, and all you have to do is just go, and that's it, and just get out that window, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, even though these are in front of the window, they're basically just going to be, afterthoughts when you want to get out through the window to save your life. Now, speaking of this, you're probably wondering, where's the figures? Well, the figures that used to be up here are down here now. And originally, this is where the Funkos, I had placed the Funkos during one change in my room. Originally, all the Funkos, mainly that I have, except for a few. But when I originally, like I said, planned to put the soundbar here, and that didn't work out, instead of putting the figures, what was I trying to say? Instead of putting the Funko figures here again, I decided to put, like I said, the figures that were up here, down here, along with putting back Celestia and Luna, Nightmare Moon, Guardians of Harmony figures, which were on my desk not that long ago, back in the original place they were when the other two smaller shelves were right here. Now, with that said, we look over here, and I have my Funko figures down here. These are where my Funko figures are. That's the main cast right there, the main 7. And then right up there, next to the Singing Rainbow Dash, we have the princesses, Luna, Celestia, and Cadence. And then down here we have the Sea Pony toys that was sold during the movie, and those magnetic toys that kind of cause that when the two hoofs touch each other, the characters end up glowing, if you know what I mean. They will end up glowing. There will be a light that flashes in them. And then over here, we have the other Funko figures that I have on this end where the Sea Ponies used to be. So that's pretty cool. And then over here, we have my CD case with my CDs. Underneath the Valentine's Day gift set of MLP that my job sold. And then over here, we have my Return of the Revenge of the Sith, I should say, wall decor that my sister gave me for Christmas, I think, next to the Easter MLP gift set basket that they sold at my store as well. And then down here, we have my storage auto, which now I'm able to basically, as I move some things, all I have to do is just move a few items. I'm able to open up and get to my comics now a lot easier. I would just probably have to move these games here just a bit to do so. So yeah, pretty much not much has really changed. And of course, have my Twilight up here, and all I have to do is just move her back a little bit. But yeah, pretty much not much has changed, but there have been significant changes. Like I said, you can definitely tell that there's change a lot now. And again, probably not too much in your opinions, but there is enough change. I mean, of course, as I've mentioned before, these collector sets of ponies that were Target exclusives, they used to be in the closet, except for the Meet the Main 6 deal or Magic of Every Pony deal. And now they're right here so I could see them. So yeah, there have been changes. Maybe not as many as you guys would think, but they are there. They are prevalent. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. I'm going to go get me some lunch now. And let me know what you all think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And I am out. And also let me know if you probably have items in the windows areas of your places, and you've had people kind of ask you how you're going to get out and all that as well. And if you agree that if it comes down to it, sacrifices have to be made, and indeed they will be. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'm out.